Hi everybody, recently asked you all to tell me your most unusual, perhaps unpopular opinions about the new Wheel of Time show. The first 5 episodes have been released as of me recording this. My goal was to get stuff that would make me shiver, that would make me angry, perhaps. I'm not looking for the stuff that's, this show is good, this show is bad. I have a lot of hope in you all. Alright, truth be told, we did this with Dune. It was fun, but it took forever to record. Because there were a million comments, and there's actually a lot more comments this time about Wheel of Time. So you'll be seeing my honest reactions. I have not looked at any of these. This will be spoilers for probably the first 4 episodes. I'm not going to be talking about the books. I'll be talking a little bit about the books, but I won't be spoiling major stuff from the books. I've only read the first couple of books, so don't worry about that. This is just the show. I'm going to start with Twitter because for some reason the opinions on Twitter are a little more grounded than those on YouTube. Perrin should have been given multiple wives to murder in the first episode instead of just one. I love how I'm saying Twitter is a little more grounded, and that's our first one. Honestly, the Dark Lord that keeps appearing in the main three's dreams right now looks visually like a high schooler on Halloween. Yeah, Balzamon's kind of getting the unfair treatment right now. It's still sort of scary, but also like in a creepy 2005 CGI way. Scorpion King, kind of, you know? I haven't seen it yet, but I heard there's a Trolloc sex scene. This is what I look forward to the most when I do finally watch it. No Trolloc sex scene. Wheel of Time should be Kafka's Metamorphosis type story where the dragon reborn wakes up one day as an actual dragon and has to deal with the consequences of this. Now that I think about it, other than the character being an actual dragon, what about the story would actually change? They're all just regular looking people and then one of them's a literal dragon. They're like, I have no idea who the dragon is. Rosamund Pike overacts most of the time. Love the main title theme, but the score overall seems off. A good example is when... Hold on, Rosamund Pike is overacting? I don't see that at all. I think there is some overacting in the show, but it's definitely not Rosamund Pike, who I think is giving a really steady, solid performance. It would be at least twice as good with half the budget. I still feel the constraints of a budget in some ways. You know, I feel like they could have gone bigger if they had more of a budget. The cold open to episode 1 was great, actually, and sets up important stuff for later on while also building intrigue and curiosity. You know, I didn't have that much trouble with the cold opening. A lot of people did. I mean, it would have been cool to see Dragonmount stuff. They should have just had Billy Zane play Balzamon and had CGI flames leaking from eyes and mouth. This version is... They need to do a better job at making it clear who the Dragon Reborn is. I still don't have a clue. Yeah, Catherine's right. Haven't watched it or read the books. I give it all a 10 out of 10. Good on ya. A lot of these are just like, the show is just generally bad, and I just can't really read all those. There's a lot where it's just like, oh, I don't like the show. But there's not really I can really do with that. So sorry, I'm not reading a lot of these comments. The landscape of the 2 rivers is too dramatic. It should be more like Iowa. Yeah, I always pictured it being pretty boring, which leads me to think another thing I have a major issue with the show is all the kids, when they go out into the real world after leaving the 2 rivers, they are clueless, and everything is so big and huge and weird to them. They feel very world weary and wise, and like when Matt and Rand walk into a Tar Valon, it's like, yeah, kind of like us today walking into like I don't know, Chicago. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. Where are we gonna eat? In the books, they have no clue how to like comprehend all of this activity, all these people. Everything just feels a little too normal for me. I want that magic. I want that wonder. I liked episode 1. Yeah, hot take. Episode 1's the best episode so far. I'm sticking to that. No time to get emotionally attached to the characters. Yeah, I'm having that trouble too. The Aes Sedai costumes are not good, and a lot of the cinematography is either dull or bad. There is something a little too clean about the whole look of the show, honestly. It pulls me out of the show sometimes, you know? It feels like just maybe the lighting or the way... Why is it so pristine? It's so... Everything pops. All the colors are just popping. Channeling is too much like Rey using the Force in the new Star Wars movies. Too much power, too easily gained, used with no drawbacks. If I were watching it without having read the books, I would say that it does feel like there's no rules. It doesn't feel very earned, like things can just kind of happen, and you have that issue. It starts to feel like you can just get out of anything with magic. Okay, this one says, honestly, not enough focus on Rand. One of the joys of the books is how it gets bigger with more POVs as the series goes on. First gradually, then being cracked wide open around books 3 or 4. Not a show ruiner, but a missed opportunity. I think it's good that we're going to other characters, but I think it's more about capturing that innocence. These characters don't really know anything and they're really learning a lot and growing up. I wish they had kept the characters aged down. Not even aged down, just like have more innocence, show that they're really from a small town. They're really out of their element, and it just feels like they're way too capable in this world. They're doing pretty fine, they can handle themselves. When Tom fights the Fade in the book, in the Eye of the World, it feels like the end of the world for them. It feels like they are screwed because that's like the one person helping them get along who knows how the world works. So much of it is just trying to figure out what the hell are they going to do? Like they're way in over their heads. But in the show, it just kind of feels like, Tom, he'll handle the Fade. We'll just get on how we've been getting on. And another thing, anything about woke political reasons, I'm just going to skip because it's a show produced for the biggest corporation in the world. It's not woke. It's just like literally of its time. Like I don't just chill. If you have issues with the show, great, but don't blame it on an Amazon produced show trying to be too woke. The radical politics of Wheel of Time. I wanted to see Mordeth. Yes, I wanted to see Mordeth as well. Again, I see how it's really not that important, but it was a good scene in the book. Scary scene, It could have been a good scene. They should have just cut the Manetheren speech. Yeah, the speech with Moiraine on horseback. A lot of people love it. I really wasn't crazy about it. They should make this running gag with Perrin, where he keeps accidentally killing the people he loves with an axe. People will be crying with laughter by the fourth or fifth time he does it. Perrin's just like, I'm ready to finally use my axe again. Just accidentally killed Rand. Too much real-world swearing and exclamations. Prefer the ones in the book. Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that a lot of people aren't enjoying that. I mean, I don't like that because it pulls me out of the story, especially with the tone they're going for. It doesn't feel right. They should have cut Perrin, Egwene, and the Tinkers and instead let Tom sing 30 more songs. Maybe not let Tom sing 30 more songs, but I do think they could have trimmed down the Egwene Perrin scenes with the Tinkers. Well, we're just hanging out, with the Tinkers. The breaking of the world was not poggers. I will agree with that. I hate Moraine's shoulder pads with the heat of 1,000 raging suns. Embrace the shoulder pads. I'm glad it looks so different from my mental picture. It won't be stealing the way I pictured the books from me. Instead, it just adds by being a story in a format I can share with others in a timely manner. I kind of get that because I've gotten to a phase where I've accepted it's not going to be the story I've pictured, and in a way it's kind of liberating because I go, well, I like the books. I'm going to keep reading the books and it'll be something different. And my image of Egwene and Nynaeve and Lan, and I see them still as what I picture them in the book. And since they're so different from their show portrayal, it does feel like different characters, a different story, really. Rosamund, Henny don't really work as Moiraine and Lan for me, although both terrific actors. I will say, I think that they're my favorite part of the show. They've got good chemistry. Tinkers are useless. They might be super important later on in the books. I honestly don't know. Here's what I'll say. It feels like the show just doesn't have enough confidence in the material. I think they were scared. I don't know. Or they're just trying to make it more of a typical TV experience. I think it would have been kind of weird TV, but I think it would have been different. The biggest problem with this adaptation is that it's mostly fine. It's not a garbage fire. It's not a pristine, perfect adaptation. It's changes, even where drastic, aren't bold or dynamic. It's basically just the adaptational equivalent of this meme. In some ways, that's the hardest thing, It feels like a very safe adaptation. It's like they're trying to do the very safe thing. They're trying to hit the beats that you hit in a modern fantasy TV show. It's not hitting these excellent highs, but it's also not a total, like he said, a total trash fire, a total mess. You can't hate watch it, which I like to do. Why on God's green earth did I read all these comments? I should ask myself that. There's a goblin intruder. We've had warder butt in episode 1, but no normal human butt. Therefore, we don't know for sure if that level of butt is something only warders can achieve, or if it is regular butt level for this sci-fi dystopia world. Really asking the important questions here. I would argue that it is a uniquely warder butt. What? This is so good! My opinions are popular, my art isn't, and I drew this instead of reading. Help, Pazuzu knows. Look at this artwork. Just amazing. And me. I imagined Bella much more of a shaggy mare than what we got. Okay, I haven't been reading all these, but there are a surprising amount of Bella comments just about her not being enough in the show, or Bella's the Dragon Reborn. I'm letting you know that I'm sparing you. Not enough dong. I hate everything about Tom's character in the show. Oh, I love Tom in the books. And having him just be an outright badass rock star looking guy who's just like gravelly voice singing like Nickelback songs. I don't mean to be harsh, but it really did not sit well with me. I didn't feel the chemistry between the characters. Nadia, who's never read the books, she thought it was weird how they just left Tom with the Fade in the barn, and there was such an emotional scene in the books. In the show, it was so rushed, it felt like they just kind of forgot Tom, and Tom's just like fighting, and they're just kind of like, see ya. Like, we can't really help you. Balsamon and the Merdrol are both hot, and they should get together. I wish they had gone with even less blood gore. Yeah, feels out of place. It feels weird. Feels unnecessary. Feels gratuitous because it doesn't fit with the tone. You know what it feels like? Feels like they're trying to say, hey, this ain't a kid's show. Accept what you are. Like, just embrace what you are. You don't have to be constantly trying to say, like, hey, we're for the grown-ups. If you're gonna be the next Game of Thrones, you gotta show some butt. With the level of violence and the heavy subject matter, I think they could have shown some sex scenes, and I mean sex scenes too, not love scenes. Realistic, clumsy, hairy, physical sex. I think the world is ready to see a pair of banging trollocs. Surprising amount of people were really hoping to see some trolloc sex scenes. Where is this coming from? Apparently they have dump truck asses. That's just Twitter, and that's not even the majority of... All right, we've been recording for an hour already. God damn it. Okay. Nearly 700 comments on YouTube, which... This might actually kill me. I want them to cast a new actor for Matt every season, and nobody in the cast and crew ever addresses why there's a new Matt. It's just a thing. Good call. I will buy it. I'll say this once more so everyone can hear. Let Rand kiss a trolloc. Again, the trollocs. We have yet to have a single braid tugging scene. Season 2 should have an entire episode that has no plot or dialogue, just Nynaeve tugging her braid for 55 consecutive minutes. I've never watched the show, but I think there's a significant lack of wheels. I was weirded out by the sizzling chemistry between Paul and his mother. Stop it, stop. No. Should have been an anime. Guys, shouldn't have been an anime all along. That's the real question. Please let me know in the comments. The real Dragon Reborn were the friends we made along the way. This is the attitude I want to see. No more fighting about if the show's good or bad. Rand should be taller. If he's not the tallest object in the known universe, is this really even the Wheel of Time? I agree with that. I would have preferred a Stormlight Archive adaptation, but this works too, I guess. That's the best kind of critique of a show. You know, would have liked it if it was another show. You know what would save the series? Ed Sheeran singing in a campfire. I see you. Good joke. The show feels like fan fiction. Don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. That's a lot of people are saying that. Come on. If your review of the TV show boils down to it's not like the books, you have no business trying to rate or review things. People can review things however they want. I think a lot of people make the mistake of seeing flaws in the show and going, it's bad because it's not like the book. I laughed at Lan when he pulled his shirt open when he was grieving at the funeral. I know they were going for stoic, but it just felt silly. I really was into that scene. But yeah, when he opened his shirt, it just broke me out of the immersion. It was like, the rest of the scene was great. Overall, episode 5 to me was pretty dull. I think Matt taking the dagger is the best thing he ever did. That ruby is very beautiful. Whatever. Take that dagger. Looks nice. It goes to show, even with decent production value, you can't make a good show from a shit book. Boo. I want a Trolloc subplot with 2 gay Trolloc husbands who learn to speak and love, and they just want to be free. See, where is this coming from? I mean, great, but what? Okay. I don't like sand, it's rough and coarse and it gets everywhere. I'm doing this for every horrible opinion sections from now on, and you can't stop me, Jake. You'll fail over and over, just like your Wi-Fi router. How do you know about that, about my Wi-Fi router? I'm afraid they will have a Daniel Green all caps, Daniel Green cameo in the second seasons. I fear the goblin, as should we all. The Daniel turns into the booktubes. Wouldn't that be great? Just have Daniel Green. Just do what Ed Sheeran did in Game of Thrones. Just have him shoot his own stuff on his green screen and just like patch him into the background somewhere, just like standing there. Let's make it happen, guys. Yes, I'm here for these videos. Genius of our time. Me? That's like a nugget of love in the midst of an ocean of pain. I hated the way they gave Rand Mjolnir just like that. Seemed like a plot to... You commented like 50 times. Moraine and Lan are sizzling with that sexual chemistry. Stop it. Just because Game of Thrones made lizard-brained, greedy politics popular doesn't mean every show has to copy it. Childhood wonder can be marketably successful if done right. There's childhood wonder. This is what I'm getting at. The childhood wonder is gone. Whoa, what did I do? There are not enough scenes with Matt and Rand kissing. Again, a lot of these comments, too, about Matt and Rand. They should chop Moraine's head off on season finale? Where is this coming from? I would like to see just how many times Moraine will be stabbed by something and then healed from it immediately after. That's a problem. It's a problem just when you feel like a character's invincible. Need to reshoot Tom's performance with Will Ferrell playing jazz flute and rocking a huge mustache. Will Ferrell as Tom? I would actually buy that. That'd be pretty sweet. I think Joker was better than Parasite and it deserved to win the Oscar. You are in the wrong comment section, my friend. I don't have any spicy takes, but I just want to be in the video. This worked for someone last time and I hope it does work for me. It worked. You're in the video. I don't like looking at Rand. These are pretty harsh. Robert Time made a good words. That's the kind of comment I love to see. Thank you. Well, that has been insightful. Maybe. You all are really testing me. And it's been an interesting process, but I appreciate you regardless. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of your comments. I promise you I read every single comment, even though I probably should not have. Thank you for watching. I will see you all soon. Go ahead and have a lovely week.